Hey folks, Dave here, and I've got a video game review today. Myst for the Oculus Quest. Myst is available for the Oculus Quest. It's currently selling for $30. It is I'm not sure if I should call it a port or a remake of the original Myst game that came out in the 90s, in the early 90s. All right, I'm going to cut right to the end. Whether or not you should buy this game kind of depends on whether or not you are a fan of the Myst series. If you like the Myst series of games, if you've played them all, if you have fond memories of playing the first one 30 years ago on your Windows 3.1 machine, you absolutely need to buy this game. I mean, you get to walk around on Myst Island for Pete's sake. You need this. For a fanboy like me, the virtual environment that came with it, that alone was worth the $30. Now, that's not to say it doesn't have its problems. The biggest one is probably that you can't keep an explorer's journal with a virtual reality headset on your face. It just doesn't work. And that's probably the thing I loved the most about the first Myst game and all of them. The first game, it came with a little notebook that looked like a journal. And the first thing you find in the game is the library of Atris's journals. So, I saw that, oh, I'm supposed to keep a journal. And I did. I was playing a video game and I was keeping a very real world journal of what I was doing, what I was seeing. I'm, making notes, jotting down observations that might come in handy later. I am a terrible artist, but I drew illustrations of things that I thought I might need later. And when I bought Riven, I actually went to a bookstore and got a relatively cheap leather-bound journal to keep my notes in. And I've still got it. I've got the next 4 Myst games in this book, interspersed with project notes. And that part, the whole Myst series is such a celebration of books, and the interactive part of keeping your own journal is just it's not a part of the VR experience. I had completed 3 of the 4 ages before I remembered that the Oculus Quest lets you take screenshots. That would have been real handy to have remembered that before the stupid constellation puzzle. But even screenshots wouldn't help with everything. The subterranean maze. When I first played Myst, I actually never quite got a handle on what the audio clues were supposed to be telling us. And so I mapped out half of that maze until I got to the end. Something you can't do with screenshots. Another weird thing about the game, the original, back in the early 90s, anytime you'd interact with another person, either see a recording of them or something, it was actual video of an actor. And they made it work. Like, it was video being replayed by some sort of recording device. And so they'd make it monocolor and it's all grainy and it worked fine. And in this one, all of them are replaced by low poly count, poorly lip synced, 3D rendered models that don't look nearly as good as the original game 30 years ago on a Windows 3.1 machine.
Catherine, my love, I have to leave quickly. Something terrible has happened. It's hard for me to believe.
And I was really confused as to why they did that until I remembered how the game ended. And then it kind of made sense. They couldn't have gotten around that with just a video of an actor. So I get it. I don't know how they should have done it. I'm kind of disappointed in how they did it. And another thing to keep in mind, this game was made 30 years ago. And so the puzzles are not set up for VR. Yes, you turn a wheel and you pull a lever and you push buttons and you slide doorways and stuff. But every single one of those, in the original game, you just clicked on it with the mouse. And so really all you need is a use object, some sort of mechanism to use device. And so I don't feel like it really makes use of VR. Again, which is understandable. But and there are interesting opportunities to exploit that in the game. There's this one spot where I had to get through a door and I couldn't remember immediately how I did it. And I could see the switch to open the door on the other side of the door. Now the game is smart enough to not let me just walk through the door. But I found that if I kept the headset on this side of the door and just kind of reached through the door, I could just barely reach the switch and flip it, and the door opened. That is totally cheating. Another disappointment about the game, there is no rhyme age. That's the bonus age at the end of the Real Myst games. But there is what appears to be a hidden message in the notes for the current patch that say they're working on it. So theoretically, we're going to see rhyme in a future update. Now, if you're not already a fan of Myst, I don't think I can tell you that this is how you should introduce yourself to Myst. Again, the most integral experience in Myst is keeping your own journal. I cannot stress that enough. You can find Real Myst, which is a 3D adaptation of the original game, on Steam for $18. Now, if you want to go old school and relive the 2D version of it, the Myst Masterpiece Edition is also available on Steam, and that one's available for $6. Those might be a better way to discover Myst. These are relatively cheap. Get one of these, get a fancy pen. You can make a whole thing out of it, and the VR has none of that. Another Oculus Quest game that came out about the same time is The Room VR. Now, I haven't played any of the Room games. The VR edition is the 5th in the series, so they're doing something right. And it is available for $30, same as Myst. And The Room came out in 2020. I'll bet you $1 that from the very beginning, it was designed as a VR game. And so it probably handles VR better. Again, I haven't played it, although it's probably going to be my next purchase. But, it seems like just solely on its own merits, there are probably better game options out there. But if you are a Myst fan, you really can't miss this. That having been said, I'm going to go back in.